everyone, it's Laynie and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am so excited that you're here, and if you're returning, oh my goodness, thank you so much. It means the world to me. You guys, today is New Year's Eve. I cannot believe 2020 is coming to an end. In some ways, I'm really excited. In some ways, I'm nervous. I'm just a whole bag of emotions with this upcoming year. How about you guys? But I'm very excited for this video because it is my final declutter of the year. Yay! If you're not new here, then you know that I've been on a mission to organize, declutter, de-stress my beauty area, my makeup collection, get it into a place that is much more user-friendly and just not so wasteful. It feels good to get organized. I love getting organized. So if you guys want to see the final products that I am decluttering for 2020 and also my hits and misses of these products, especially some foundations I have used over the last couple months, then just keep watching. The first thing I am going to declutter is this Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. I did get this in BoxyCharm. I honestly do really like this palette, but I have so many other bronzer palettes to get through in 2021, you guys. I have quite a few, and I'm also just realizing bronzer palettes in the future will not be my favorite because I literally only use 2 colors in this palette. Seems wasteful, seems like there's better products out there. I think I'm going to just stick with matte, a little bit cool toned bronzers in the future, but I have really enjoyed this. I'm wearing it today. I've been wearing it for several months. The quality is really good. If you love palettes like this, I don't think you will regret it. I just don't find myself using enough of the colors to make it worthwhile, and I need to dive into some others, but overall I do really like this palette. Speaking of palettes, I have 4 eyeshadow palettes here that I'm going to be decluttering. One I am very sad to see go. The first one I am sad to see go only in the fact that I spent a stupid amount of money on this. It was one of those things I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it when it came out. It was the Natasha Denona Heiress palette. I've never had Natasha Denona before, and it's so raved about and highly reviewed on YouTube. I was like, oh, I've got to have it. I loved the blue. The blue in here is absolutely stunning. If you see a bunch of red eyeshadow on my fingernails, that's because I just stuck my fingers in here. But the blue is what drew me in, and honestly, the blue is probably one of the most stunning blues I've ever used. It's just this beautiful, almost like robin egg blue. It is so multi-dimensional, like diamondy effect in there. It is stunning. Was it worth $50? No. But I do love that blue. I just haven't used enough of the other colors. I do find myself using this kind of champagne-y tone a lot because it again has kind of that crushed up diamond-y look in there. So it has come in really handy, but this was one that was not worth the price tag at all. Another one I am going to declutter is the Marvelous Mauves palette from Dose of Colors. I got this in BoxyCharm. It is good quality, like the mattes are really nice. I just don't see myself being drawn to these colors enough to keep it in my collection. I've barely reached for it, even with having it out here on my desk, trying to focus on using it. I've only reached for it a few times. I just don't wear these colors a lot, but the quality is really nice, so I don't have anything against that. And then the one that I'm most sad to see go. This is probably one of my, no, I think it is, my favorite matte formula out of any eyeshadow palettes I've ever used. This is the Too Faced Just Peachy Matte. These are tones I reach for a lot. They come in so handy. I do love a good pinky tone. I love a peachy tone, but like this tan comes in so handy. These two here for like blending out, highlighting the brow bone. The browns have come in so handy for smoking out a look. I actually use them in my eyebrows too because, I mean, what's the difference between eyeshadow and brow powder? Nothing really. These are such easily blendable eyeshadows, which I really love. The formula is so good. I don't get a ton of fallout. I don't know, there's just something about this formula that I'm obsessed with. I love this palette. I love the peachy tones. It smells good, but I have had this since 2017, so it is time to finally let it go. But this one is a hard one to give up because I did really enjoy this palette. I love this palette, and I actually would consider repurchasing this palette in the future, but I have several other palettes to get through first before I even think about it. But I do highly recommend this one, and the packaging is so stinking cute. I'm a sucker for anything peach. And then the final one is a product that I don't know why Colourpop stopped making this palette. I think it's incredible. This is the Colourpop Semi-Precious palette. At first glance, you're like, the color story is like not amazing. It's not one that makes you go, oh my gosh, I have to have that. But the formula of these is incredible. I'm wearing it on the eyes today. It's this more metallic-y red, this more metallic-y gold color. These are incredible. They're so foiled. They're so creamy. If you wet them down, they're stunning. This periwinkle shade is incredible. If you mix the periwinkle and the rose gold in a look, it's like perfection. This formula is incredible. If you've tried out a lot of Colourpop palettes, are there any others that are like super foiled? Because I'm obsessed with this formula. I am sad to see it go, but I've also had this one since 2018, so it is time to give it up. But this formula, you guys, I'm obsessed. I love this formula. Next up, I actually haven't been using this mascara that long, but I told myself I was going to start fresh in January 2021. I got this in BoxyCharm. This is by Lily Lashes. It's their Triple X Mascara. I'm wearing it today. I've been using it for a good month or so. It is not my favorite at all. It was fun to try out because I've never really used anything from Lily Lashes before, but I think full price it's like $26, so it's like up there with any other high-end mascara. It's not my favorite. I find it very hard to get my lashes to separate with it. I do get a nice like thick lash from it, which I do enjoy in mascara, but I don't get as much length and separation as I would like. I find the wand can get pretty gloopy, so that I don't love. Fun to try out, but would I purchase? No. I'm also getting rid of the Too Faced Born This Way powder. I really like it. It's just a translucent setting powder. I'm wearing it today. I feel like it does a decent job of kind of smoothing out the skin. It does a very good job of setting, holding things in place. It doesn't make me look extra dry, but I do go in with a setting spray still, just so you know. I've just had this a really long time, and I've been using it for probably 4 months now, and I'm still loose setting powder trying to get through. Almost impossible. It takes a really long time, and I have so many others that I really need to get to using, so I am going to declutter this one, but I do really like it. One that I'm sad to give up because I'm not done with it, but again, I'm trying to start using more products up and basically trying to start fresh in January with products I've had in my backup stash for like a really long time now. The Colourpop Concealer has been incredible to me lately. I had not used this for probably a year. When it first came out, I used it and I wasn't impressed. I was getting some serious creasing under the eyes from it. And I feel like they had to have played with the formula of this one because I have not been having serious creasing. I mean, I get a little tiny bit. I always will. I smile with my eyes. Everything's going to crease up a little bit. But nothing like before, and it just is a really good affordable concealer. It's really pigmented, it goes on really smooth, it blends out really nicely, it dries down nicely, but it doesn't dry too fast to where you put it on, you're like, oh crap, I don't have any time to work with it. I really like this, and I think this might be my go-to once I get through all my other concealers. Okay, and before we dive into all these foundations I have here, I got quite a few to talk to you guys about. I am going to do a quick little hair declutter. I bought a lot of Redken products a couple years ago when Ulta had like their buy two get one deal, and I honestly really do like Redken. There's a couple in here that aren't my favorite, but a few of these are pretty standout for me. I really loved this Redken Pillow Proof Blow Dry Spray. I use this whenever I blow dry my hair. It helps it dry faster, it primes it to protect it, and gives it some shine and some glow without it being greasy or weighed down. I really like this. I would definitely consider repurchasing in the future. One that I thought I would use more, but I don't find myself reaching for a lot, and that could be more because I got a couple products in BoxyCharm I've also been using. This is the No Blow Dry Airy Cream. If you are a total air dry kind of hair person, I think you might like this. It kind of just smooths it out, makes it a little easier, less dry looking, a little less frizzy. Definitely not a bad product. I just didn't find myself reaching for it all the time, and I think part of that is because honestly, if I let my hair air dry, I usually wear it up. I don't find myself letting my hair air dry and be down very often. So depending on what your go-to style is, this might be worth checking out. A product that I didn't love is this Iron Shape 11 by Redken. It's supposed to be a thermal holding spray and a protectant spray. It made my hair a little too crunchy. It just didn't dry down the way I would like it to. I want something that keeps my hair a little bit more light, a little more airy. This could get a little crunchy, and I don't like when my hair is crunchy. Then I got this Guts 10 volume spray foam, and I did use it. I used it today. It does work. It gives me a little more body in my very fine hair, but I think mousse just isn't totally my thing. I think I would rather spray something in my hair, so I'm trying out the Bumble thickening spray, and I actually bought a mini of it before, and I did really like it, so I am going to declutter this one. I just don't reach for it enough, so I'm ready to try something else out. Then the final product that does work, but is not my favorite, I've used other salt sprays that I like better. This is the Fashion Waves 07 Sea Salt Spray. I used one by, I believe it's called KMS, that I did really like. The thing I find with any salt sprays, if you go too heavy-handed, it can kind of weigh the hair down, kind of pull the curl out. It can almost get a little gunky using, so I don't really think I'm going to buy a lot of sea salt sprays in the future. Instead, I would rather use like a dry texturizing spray. I find that works much better for my hair. That is all for hair. Now let's dive into foundations. This is what I'm most excited to talk to you guys about. I'm just going to pull these out and just kind of give you a quick rundown of the ones that have worked for me and the ones that didn't. Jouer, if you are looking for an extremely full coverage foundation, this one is extremely full coverage. I do like it, but honestly, I don't feel like it's the prettiest on my skin. It can really look like I'm wearing foundation. If you like to mix foundations and want to amp up coverage, this one would do it for you. Would I repurchase? No. Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. One thing I didn't love about this is it was very dry at first application. Like a little tuggy, kind of hard to blend out, but wears really well on my skin. I do lean a little bit more oily, especially in the warm months. And this, like, once I wore it throughout the day and like my natural oils kind of started to mix with it, I honestly really enjoyed this and found it made my skin look very smooth. But if you had dry skin, I do not think you would like. Would I repurchase? Probably maybe. Maybe. This is a maybe. The Juvia's Place I Am Magic Foundation. When I first used this, I don't think I loved it. Like, I have a vague memory of not loving it. Not hating it, but not loving it. I really did like this. It's very full coverage. The price is right, but I did find it wore really nicely on my skin. The more I used this, the more it really grew on me. I would consider repurchasing this one. Too Faced Born This Way. I think this is a beautiful foundation. It really walks the line of skin-like, but it doesn't get oily or too dewy. There's a good amount of coverage there. I do really like this one. For a high-end foundation, I do really enjoy it. Would I repurchase? I don't know, just because I'm such a drugstore foundation gal now that I'm like, oh, do I want to spend that much money? I'm not sure. But I do really like this one. And if you have naturally, like, smooth skin, small pores, it will look stunning on you. I have a friend who wears this all the time and her skin looks incredible. Like, incredible. It Confidence in a foundation. This one is discontinued. There's really no point in diving into it, but if you've tried the new IT Cosmetics foundation, let me know what you think. I am curious. Colourpop No Filter Stick, not my favorite. I really do not like how this looks on my skin. It just does not look pretty on me at all. Pro Matte HD Definition. I just find myself, even with oily skin, not loving things that are very matte. I'd really rather go with more of a skin-like finish, a satin finish, a soft matte finish. Really matte products aren't my thing anymore, which is surprising because I used to be all about the matte. A really great cheap foundation. Believe Beauty from Dollar General, $5 foundation, their skin finish foundation. Beautiful. Really nice amount of coverage. It's not like the most coverage ever, but it's buildable. It does a good job of canceling out those things you want to cancel out. It is extremely skin-like, and it's $5. I think this is a great foundation. One that I used to love, but the more I wore it, I was like, this is not meant for me. The L'Oreal Pro Glow. I knew that buying it because I lean oily that this probably wouldn't be for me, but I've seen so many people on YouTube who look stunning in it. The finish of it is very pretty, but it is too glowy for me. It also does nothing to smooth me out. I have a lot of texture. I have large pores. I need smoothed out, so this is does not work for me. L'Oreal Infallible, I can't say that. 24-hour fresh wear. When I first bought this, it was all the rage, and I remember being like, oh my gosh, it's the best foundation I've ever used. And it is nice, but I wish it did more for smoothing my skin. So if you have relatively smooth skin naturally, honestly, can't go wrong. It is a pretty wearing foundation. Good amount of coverage, a little bit skin-like, but it just doesn't smooth me out enough, and I need more smoothing. I got some texture. So these, I'm not sure. I really mixed these NYX Total Control drops in with other things, so I'm not sure how I feel about them on my own, and I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending them or not recommending them to you guys because I didn't wear it alone enough. But if you need something to mix into foundations, they're really convenient because they come in a dropper and they're very liquidy. Dermacol, this one, I would try it again. It's very, very full coverage. I definitely didn't get the correct shade for myself, so that kind of affected how I felt about it, but it is a very pretty finish. It's very dewy, but at the same time it's not like oily. It's just a really nice dewy finish. I would try this again, but I really never see it anywhere anymore, and this was like all the rage for a while. The closest thing I found to Hourglass is the Sephora Stick Foundation. I really like these. There's something about the way it goes on the skin. There's something about the way it blends out that just reminds me of the Hourglass. It's not quite as like velvety and special as the Hourglass, but if you're looking for a cheap alternative, this is the closest I have found. I would definitely consider repurchasing. And then lastly, I really like this foundation, Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. It is mattifying, but it says second skin effect. And that's what I'm saying when I don't mind matte as long as it's still skin-like. And I find this one to still be very skin-like. It is a liquidy, full coverage formula, so you definitely get the coverage, but it just almost buffs into the skin because it's so liquidy. This honestly compares right up there with some high-end foundations. I would definitely consider repurchasing. The standout foundation for me though, and I knew I loved this already, but I have been wearing it every day for the last few weeks, and I love this foundation. If you guys haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. This is the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation. If you have dry skin, go try this foundation. It is what I'm wearing today. Now I do have powder on, I do have some highlight on, but just, did you see that soft glow to my skin? It's this. It's so creamy. It's very creamy. Like I accidentally stuck a bunch of it to the top of the cap because it is so creamy. Like you put it on and it just like swipes across your face, almost melts into it. It is so creamy. It's really good coverage. There's just something about the amount of glow in this that I can wear it this time of year. In the summer, this would not work for me, but for fall, winter, early spring, where it's dry here in the Midwest, with a little coat of powder, I love the amount of glow in this. I feel like it's very youthful, it's very pretty without looking oily, and it also does a really good job of smoothing out my pores, but I still wear a pore like a smoothing primer, not necessarily pore filling, but a smoothing primer with it. I love this. I would definitely repurchase. I think it's like $7. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's very affordable. If you have dry skin, please try this one. If you don't have dry skin and you want to take a chance on a dewy foundation, you guys, this could be the one. I love this. This is the standout. I don't even want to give it up because I've been loving wearing it. It's just so effortless. It just blends out. It's just so pretty. I feel confident when I'm wearing it, like, oh, my skin's so youthful. I love this foundation. All right, you guys, that is everything for my 2020 declutter. Even though I'm sad to get rid of a few of these products, I'm really excited about going in and restocking my collection because I have a bunch of stuff in my backup stash that I've bought over the last year or I've received in BoxyCharm that I just kept sticking back there that really needs to get put out. So that will be my next video that I film. I will be showing you guys what I'm restocking my collection with, and I'm just really excited to dive into some new products, some new fresh items, and just have fun with makeup again in 2021. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's. I hope you stay safe and healthy, and I hope you have so much joy, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for going along this journey with me over 2020, and I can't wait for you to be a part of 2021. So that is all, you guys. As always, please try to stay positive because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.